You're watching Betting Weekly Fight Life on the Bet Rivers Network.
Welcome to Betting Weekly Fight Life. I'm your host, Kyle Andrew, joined once again by resident fight expert Paul Hughes. Paul, let's dive right into it right now because it's a numbered card. Again, we've harped on this point. One of the very last of all the pay-per-views. The pay-per-view era is coming to an end, but more importantly, we finally get to see the heavyweight belt defended.
Yeah, this is a great card. I got from fights to betting, and like from top to bottom. It's one of the cards at the end. I'm excited to see Aspinall finally fighting. It feels like no one wants to fight him, and Gane snubbed him for a good few years when Gane was up and around, and Aspinall was coming up. So this matchup's been in the works for a while. So I'm glad to see it.
Well, let's hop right into it immediately. The odds are pretty wide here, and I don't think they're unfair, but it's a complicated thing worth discussing as well because Tom Aspinall has not fought in 15 months. And since the fluke injury he had during the Curtis Blades fight over 3 years ago, he's fought a total of 3 minutes and 23 seconds in 3 fights in the octagon. And that can't be ignored. Like, it can't be completely ignored, right?
No, I mean, when you're the injury was a big thing. Obviously, like it wasn't like it was a minor injury. It was like an ACL, like completely torn. Like that's gonna play some sort of role in whatever fight the rest of your career, pretty much. But when you're talking about the 3 minutes, and I think it just speaks to like how head and shoulders he is ahead of the rest of the division. Maybe outside of like Jones if he like comes back,
of course,
because that line was about a pick him, but the rest of the division, as you can see, Cyril Gane, you'd probably say has the best chance of beating him, and he's minus 435 against Cyril Gane. So yeah, Tom Aspinall's just a genetic freak. He's been training his entire life. He moves like he's 5'8" and he's 6'5". It's ridiculous, and no, this could be a very, very quick night in the office, as the line suggests.
I haven't seen much from Cyril Gane to suggest it will go otherwise. Like, the issue here is that this is such an exciting fight, but this is an exciting fight because Tom Aspinall is finally fighting again, and more importantly, because we're finally getting some movement in the heavyweight division. But the fight itself, I can't find anyone online or elsewhere in person that is giving Cyril Gane much of a chance in here. And the reason for that is because he looked terrible against John Jones, like super terrible. He beat Volkov in a decision, which most people think he did not win that fight. And so what is his resume suggesting to us? We know he strikes well. We know he strikes, like, he has very good technique for that, but so does Tom. You know, Tom might be a little reckless going in sometimes, but he's going in for takedowns. And unless Gane has spent less time acting in movies and more time you know what I mean? Like, he is, and this is a theme I'm going to harp on in the next fight as well. People getting distracted outside of the cage. And, you know, hey, go get your money, man. Like, whatever, do your thing. But you're fighting John Jones, Tom Aspinall, and you need to work on your takedown defense. And I've heard nothing that suggests anything has changed about his game.
Yeah, just to touch on the outsider stuff, you brought that up twice across 2 different fights, and both times you've been pretty right about it. It was in the Kai Baralho fight, is the one's prominent in my head when you're talking about he's doing this, that, and the other. And I can't remember the other one, but I think it was pretty spot on as well. But these are like real things that you have to cap into these things, because Cyril Gane, as I said, he turned down fights because he wanted to act in a movie. Like, I don't think MMA is his be all end all. Where Tom Aspinall, this is his life. Like this,
it's his life.
His dad's like a BJJ coach. He's a BJJ black belt. He's been training jiu-jitsu since he was a kid. Went up with boxing with the Furies, and so what and the other. Like his life is fighting. That's all he knows, and he's pretty good at it, as the line would suggest, where Cyril Gane's more of just a freak athlete. I think he started training pretty late on as well. But when it comes to this fight, I see it being pretty straightforward for Tom. I think he does keep his chin up in the air, which I know everyone says, like, everyone hops. That's the question about his game. Like, well, why can't just tuck your chin, Tom? But he refuses to do so. And you know, Gane could land and put him out. You know, like, we don't know how good Tom's chin actually is.
It's heavyweight. It's heavyweight, and Gane's an excellent striker. You can't. like, would I be shocked to see that? Yes, but ultimately, no, because it's such a one-punch division. It's just, it's how it is.
Gon's also got an assumed cardio advantage, which we don't know if it's true.
That's a good point, but it's just as much as I pointed out in the fact how little Aspinall's fought. We don't know if he has bad cardio. We have nothing to even slightly suggest that he does. But to all of the points you just made about this is his life, he's not going to come into the ring with bad cardio, and this fight's not going to go 5 full rounds. Like, it's just one way or another, one of these guys is finishing this fight, I believe. If this were to go 5 full rounds, that would be the biggest shock to me.
Yeah, and I tend to think Aspinall's just going to flatline him here in one way or the other. What I do mention is on the feet, I think Aspinall doesn't have an advantage because I think he has a clear power advantage and speed advantage.
Yes.
But Gon's probably more technical.
Sure.
Probably live to like mix it up a little bit more. But I think Tom, Gon doesn't tuck his chin much either. His chin's there to be hit. We've seen Tuivasa crack him hard and drop him and almost finish him. And that was when I first started being like, whoa, how good actually is Gone. I thought like he's going to school everyone on the feet. He was kind of schooling Ngannou on the feet, and then he lost that in the wrestling, which I'll talk about in a second, and then obviously got hurt pretty bad by Tuivasa. But I think Tom is way too fast, way too strong, and I think on the feet he's going to kind of, if he gets in, I can see him just landing like a clean 1-2, kind of like he did to Ty Burr and just hurting him bad. And I think Tom has the best finishing instincts in the UFC. Like when he hurts someone, like he's instantly on them. And
Agreed.
Since he's so well versed everywhere, like clinch on the ground, everywhere, he's gonna find something. Or you're gonna make a mistake when you're dazed in this, and he's not gonna make a mistake. He's gonna find a choke, or he'll ground and pound you out cold. And as we mentioned about the wrestling advantage, it's absolutely huge. Like as we said, Aspinall's been training jiu-jitsu. I think he said since he was like a baby boy. He's a black belt in that. And if he chooses to wrestle with how much more physical he is than Gane, and obviously he has a big wrestling advantage. We've seen how Jones kind of just walked into Gane and just took him down without any resistance at all. Volkov also took him down pretty easily. And Aspinall is way quicker than them two and stronger at this stage of both of their careers. Because obviously Jones in his prime is a different story. But what Aspinall is now compared to what Jones was against Gane is night and day. And his jiu-jitsu is just better than Jones's. Like he's been doing this again all his life. Jones is a better wrestler, but Aspinall's jiu-jitsu is better. So I think sub plus 310 when we've seen Gane insta-sub by Jones when it was literally insta-sub is ridiculous. And my biggest takeaway is that the way Aspinall speaks and the way he goes around things with chips on his shoulder and this, that, and the other, he knows with the Pereira Jones situation going on, the kind of forgetting about him, he needs to put on a statement, and he won't shy away from that. He knows. I bet he knows exactly how long it took for Jones to finish Gane, and I bet he's going to try and finish it quicker.
There's an internal clock running in his head, and I agree with literally everything you just said. And to your last point, those are the types of things I tend to harp on with these fights. Tom is well aware of this moment. He's had entirely too long to prepare for it, and he spent his life preparing to be this person. I don't think he's in love with how he achieved the heavyweight title belt. So for him, I believe in his head, this is the title fight. Which, I mean, anytime you're the champion, you're of course defending it. But he didn't take it from someone. It was given to him. No fault of his own. But he's going to definitely have an issue with that. And he's going to start immediately this Saturday to start to correct it. So, Paul, let's get to your pick. I think you have 2 for this fight, right?
Yeah, quite confident on Tom, as we can all sound by this. So I've kind of split 2 units across 2 bets. So the main one is Aspinall in under 1.5 rounds. Mm-hmm. He's so reliable to push a pace that anyone surviving 7.5 minutes at this stage where he's in his prime, it just seems near impossible, honestly. Like Gane, as you said, the look against Volkov, like if Aspinall was on top of him any moments Volkov was, the fight's over. And the Jones one was such a bad look where, you've seen Tom's career. I don't need to tell you how good he is. Like 7.5 minutes and Tom will win. It feels like it's an incredible amount of time for him. So I went pretty strong there, 1.5 units. And then also, as I said, I think 1 takedown's the fight. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Tom just bulldoze him because he knows Gane's only path to victory is on the feet. And Tom's a smart fighter, man. So I think this is insta-sub on the mat if it gets there. And it can be in a multitude of ways. And I don't mind sprinkling plus 310 on a submission. I think that's a huge price.
Yeah, I think those are really good picks because there's a part of me that feels like, yeah, okay, the statement to make would be to come out bulldoze and punch this guy out straight up, but it's almost like Aspinall's too smart to walk into that fire because that is the only path Gane has to win. And I think Aspinall understands that his place now is to be a smart champion and prep for each fighter, but not for what the crowd necessarily wants to see. And to have him tear Gane down to the mat and then sub him is also not only a likelihood, but it's also an incredible way to let the division know who he really is from top to bottom. And I feel like, yeah, I'd actually kind of love to see a sub here because a KO feels so inevitable in this division at times, and to see his skill set fully explored in that way, I think it would be wonderful. You mentioned it in the last fight stanza there, but if you like what you hear on our show, sign up for our newsletter. Get exclusive tips and the free Insider magazine. Sign up for free at bettingweeklystudios.com. And Paul, this next fight is actually the fight that I wrote about in the newsletter this week. Jandiroba and Mackenzie Dern. And the line is close here. The line is close for good reason. They fought before Mackenzie Dern took a decision. But things have changed over those years as far as I'm concerned, as things often do in the fight game. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, watching it back, the pace was kind of crazy at times during the first fight. Like they were going for it. And the biggest takeaway from me is that Jandiroba at the start was pretty hesitant to get in Dern's guard. Like, because it's not gonna like mixed up. Like Dern is potentially the most dangerous woman off her back in the division. Maybe is. I don't know. Jandiroba got on a guard the first time, and I think Dern just insta sweeped her, like just sweeped her, and just like it was instant. And then Jandiroba was a bit hesitant, and then Jandiroba ended up going in full guard and ended up lasting there for a few minutes. I think it was near the end of the fight, if I'm not mixing up the rounds there. But I think she realizes that she kind of can be safe in Mackenzie's guard if she's just making it a boring fight. And I wouldn't be surprised to see if that's the case, because I think Dern's pretty happy to accept bottom, and I think Jandiroba's the better wrestler. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jandiroba's just forcing any takedown and Dern's just happy to go straight on her back. And I don't know how long it's going to last. I think Dern's more physical, like on the feet. I think both have improved massively from 5 years ago. I'm trying to like split hairs in this matchup where I kind of got to the case where it's like Dern's slight favorite, fine, but if Jandiroba's like, if anyone's taking any plus money on Jandiroba, I don't think you can be that wrong. I think it's probably like a pick 'em at worst. Like Jandiroba plus 110 and bigger just seems decent for anyone. And it was a bit bigger during the week. I think it got to plus 138, and now it's came back in a little bit. I think on the feet, it's going to be pretty 50-50. I think they've both improved pretty well there. I think, as I said, I think Dern's more physical on the feet, but on the mat, I think it could be pretty boring, honestly. I think Jandiroba might just lie on top of her and nothing happens.
Yeah, so when I went back to the original fight, I was going through it, but to me, I've always got this thing where sometimes when fights are too long ago, too much happens in these careers between fights, and what I've seen more than anything is more progress by Jandiroba than Dern, because Dern was more developed at that time of that fight, I think. But now what I question is Dern's commitment to the game. She, I think, is another person that is distracted by things outside of the ring and the cult of celebrity and stuff. I don't even mean that to dismiss her in this fight, but I just think she's not going to come to this fight as hungry. And I think that's going to make a difference here. And as you say, the grappling, Verna's better, but it's kind of a wash. They cancel each other's out. Dern is probably better with submissions, but I think Jandiroba is going to be comfortable there and being able to avoid it. On the feet, 50-50, sure. This fight is 50-50. I think what it's going to come down to is the hunger that Jandiroba comes to the ring with, and her smothering style might win her rounds. I think that's how it could go. And when I wrote for the Betting Weekly Insider this week, I took the plus money on Verna, but I also offered a second option. If people are on the fence with this, just pick it to go to the decision, because everything they do kind of cancels each other out. And I believe when I wrote the article, it was at minus 110, which is basically even money. And that's on the theory that, listen, either of these women can win this fight, but everything they do cancels each other's out. In the women's division, that more often than not leads to a decision. I don't think we're going to see as much action as we did in the first fight. I think there's going to be a pacing difference because this one's now 5 rounds. Mackenzie Dern has all the experience in 5-round fights, but she's only won one of them. So we don't really know what Verna's cardio will be like here, but I suspect she's going to come here as prepared as she's ever been in her entire life, and I think she's going to win the belt.
It's pretty spawn, to be fair. I was looking at that as being an official play going to decision, because I think in WMMA, like any fight going to decision seems like, if it's plus money, like how bad can it be unless it's a huge skill differential in the lower levels?
Yes, of course.
Last few weeks ago when we took that go by submission, that fight should never be favored not to go the distance. But here in this one, where the girls are so evenly matched up and the skills kind of neutralize each other. And if Jandiroba doesn't, let's just say this is a striking fight, like fight goes decision is going to look like minus 400. Like not even like if Jandiroba isn't pushing takedowns here, or Dern isn't getting takedowns, this goes to the decision like pretty much in like 75% of the renditions of this fight or more. So yeah, I think taking plus money on Jandiroba is, again, I think she's the better wrestler. I think Dern's the better grappler though. That's a bit of a difference there. But yeah, 50-50 fight. Happy to flip a coin, and if you're getting plus money on one of them, I think you can take that and be pretty happy at the end of the day.
I also got it earlier in the week when it was a little bit higher too. So
yeah,
not a ton, but it has dropped slightly over the week. So
I think I've seen a lot of people quite positive on Dern. I wouldn't be surprised if Jandiroba goes a bit bigger again. But I do think if I had to pick one of them, I think I would pick Jandiroba. So maybe I do end up going in on the plus 125 if it stays around that.
Do you have an official pick on this fight?
No, I was pretty torn. I think I need to do a bit more research on this one, because I just can't get to like a real. Sometimes I'm flipping and flopping. By the end of this episode, I'm probably going to be thinking about taking Dern. Like it's just one of those fights.
I might actually. This is one of those ones where I might be looking at what's going on live as well, like in the live betting numbers with this, because it's really hard to decide how they're going to come out of the gate for this, because it's just been so long since they fought, and I'm a little bit mixed on Dern's most recent results, whereas with Jandiroba, her 5-fight win streak has been very, very solid. She's looked good throughout, so...
Yeah, I think as well, like, let's just say Jandiroba's cardio isn't holding up, and she, like, say, gets to the end of the 4th round, she looks like death. Dern could literally, like, Dern is so good, like,
yes,
in the jiu-jitsu department, that one takedown could be the fight at that stage if Jandiroba's not. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think live shopping for this fight, I think you'll probably get a pretty good bet at some point in the fight.
I agree. If Verna is tired, she's in big trouble if it goes to the ground. That's a certainty. Okay, let's move on. This one's also very interesting as well. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Bautista. What do you see?
I don't think there's any world where, we were speaking about it just before, and I was like, let's just save it for the show. But I don't think Bautista can be plus 440.
It's
and then
crazy.
Umar finish can be plus 255. I don't think that can be the same. I think Umar's pretty reliable to drop early rounds. I mean, he's dropped quite a few across his career, except like against the Merab. I think he won the first round.
He did everything the inverse in Merab, the Merab fight.
Yeah. But he's been dropped in the first round, I think, once or twice, maybe. He, again, as I'm saying, like, he is kind of like a slow start, other than in his last fight. In Bautista, he's going to put it on him instantly. He pushes a pace. He pushes a good pace as well. Like, I know he's very similar to Merab in the sense, obviously not with the wrestling, but he's going to be in front of you. He's going to be walking forward the entire fight. He's made for 5 rounds. His cardio is great. And I think he's going to be pretty reliable to get round 1, honestly. So I don't think in that sense you can be taking plus 440. Honestly, I didn't really look at the line. I've only just came to it now, but like decision only Bautista, if that's a huge number, which I think
It's
it's going to
huge
be because
numbers.
he's plus 800 and
Yeah.
Umar's minus 165. I don't think you could be wrong at all taking like a big price on that, because I think Umar, if he's going to be covering minus 625, he has to finish the fight. I don't think you can be minus 625 and just win a easy decision like against Bautista, because he kind of just was always going to be there in front of him. He's got a good chin. He's going to push a pace. He'll mix up the wrestling. He'll mix it up on the feet. I think it's pretty 50-50 in the striking. So if Umar's not landing consistent takedowns, then this is insane. This is even more insane. But I think he will get takedowns at some point. But Bautista, whilst this is standing, he's going to have the chance to crack him. And I think he's going to be winning the minutes on the feet as well with his pace and pressure. So, but then that being said, flipping it over, Umar is one of the best prospects we've got in the sport.
Truly.
He's looked pretty flawless outside of, I think it was Said Yakub Rakhmonov.
He gave Merab the best go he's had during this whole reign.
Yeah.
Or even leading up to it.
He was about 45 seconds away from beating Merab as well.
Yeah.
So that's why I can kind of justify it. And honestly, like this is more politics, but I don't think if it goes to a decision in Abu Dhabi, they're going to give it to Bautista. Actually thinking about it. No, but like seriously,
we can only comment on what we see, right? It's across boxing, across UFC, it's been the same.
It's exactly the same. Like we've seen it like pretty bad. Like I think Nathaniel Wood, who's on this card as well, he had Mohamed Naimov had about 8 fouls in the matchup against him, and not one of them got called. It was like egregious. But again, so they have favored their own in the past. Maybe that won't happen again. But I think Umar will end up winning this. I was tempted by him to win by finish because I don't think he can be minus 625 and finish the fight. But Bautista's very durable, man. I couldn't really. I was going 2 ways. I was thinking Umar sub. Bautista's been sub before. I think Sandhagen subbed him. He's not great defensively on the mat. So how can plus 360 sub be a thing? Yeah. And then I was thinking Bautista and ML, like how wrong can you be? And then I was thinking the under because of the pace he's going to push. And Umar's been hurt before and dropped. I don't know. I think this fight's a bit of a mess. I'd much rather see this over 5 rounds, but over 3.
I was just going to say that this has 5. This should be a 5-round fight somehow. They should have saved it for a fight night main event or something.
Yeah. But that being said, with this being only 3 rounds, there's too many ways this can go. And honestly, I think a lot of it is Umar. I don't think he's quite minus 625, but I don't think I'm confident enough in Bautista to play him. I think it will be closer. I think you have to think about it being in Abu Dhabi, and I think I just passed with all that being said.
Yeah, so that's your official pick. And Paul, just to point out to the viewers here too, there's one thing, you don't see this a ton, where a guy's minus 625, but he's also minus 165 for the decision. If you're giving someone minus 625, that just screams finish to me. Who gets minus 625 and then is expected to go to a decision? As you say, the odds on this are just a mess. If I do anything in this fight, I'm going to do exactly what you said and sprinkle a tiny little bit on a Bautista decision, because I think he's being overlooked a little bit here. I think Umar would be fair at minus 350 to minus 400 here. I think that would be more of a number I would swallow. But I don't see it. Like, I don't see how you go minus 625 favorite, but then minus 165 a decision. We think he's going to need the whole fight to
pre-written scorecards to me.
That's exactly how it reads to me. I hate to be that person, but we're kind of both being that person here. And that those numbers don't make sense to me. And that's just indicative of what we're looking at potentially here. So let's keep rolling through. I love when we have a heavyweight title fight at the top of the card, but another impactful heavyweight fight down the card further, because this also has implications for the division. Alexander Volkov versus Jailton Almeida. What do you see here?
It's going to be a bit of a spoiler, but I've got 3 bets on the 3 bets across 3 fights on the card, and the smallest height I've bet on is 6'4". I just realized that while doing this now.
That's some sort of weird bias, but okay. Yeah. I get it.
Exactly. But Alexander Volkov, Almeida, I just don't see how Almeida can be minus 200 any world, honestly. I think that if he's going to be covering this, he has to finish him round 1. He's not shown anything that's too impressive for me at heavyweight, other than he's beating the guys he should beat. He went 5 rounds with Derek Lewis and showed Derek Lewis literally said he just has get up jitsu where he just stands up.
Yes.
Almeida literally could not get anything going on the mat against him. Like, he looked like he didn't even know what to do. He's an extremely good black belt, don't get me wrong, but I think it's just the size and the strength of these people in the division that I don't think he's a natural heavyweight. Well, I mean, he was meant to be a 205. I think he fought a 205 in the Contender Series, and then he said he was moving up, and we were all confused. But I think Volkov's way too big. He's listed at 6'7". I remember Aspinall saying that he's more like 6'9". Like, he doesn't understand why he's listed 6'7".
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he's got like about 6 inches on Almeida, and he's got longer reach, and he's way strong. Like, he doesn't look it, but he's put on so much mass over the years since losing to Gane in the first fight. The second fight he won. Whoever got on Volkov there, that was the bet of the year. You just got unlucky. But seriously, Volkov plus 160, he's serviceable off his back. Like, he doesn't get.
Yeah,
he's not.
that's right.
He's not like his insta sub if Almeida takes him there.
Not a
He has the
chance.
better cardio, huge size and weight advantage. He's way more powerful on the feet. And Almeida does. I know I don't like saying this about fighters, but he has a bit of quit in him. He can, like, the Blades fight. If you have any interest in him, you're like a wrestler or a grappler, you look at the position he had on Blades, and he was doing nothing to advance. He was kind of just lying there, holding his leg, and Blades just started elbowing him, and he's just like, then he's like, he kind of just died. Like,
Yeah.
he was doing nothing. He was just lying there, and there's like, are you gonna punch me, Blades? And then Blades started elbowing him, and he's like, all right, I'm done now. It was one of the most insane sequences I've ever seen. I don't see how Volkov's plus 160 is one of my stronger bets on the card, and I think if Almeida's covering his line, it's by a round 1 sub. So
yeah,
I think.
Just in quick summary, I don't really have much to add to any of what you just said there, because when I saw this line, I was like, what? Because Volkov has been in the ring against much better competition overall than Almeida. Almeida may have survived the threat of Derek Lewis for 5 rounds, but he didn't look good, I didn't think. His biggest win was against Spivak, but he was finished by Curtis Blades. And Curtis Blades is a good fighter, but Volkov can kind of do it all here, and he's smart. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I think you can go back and easily score that Gane fight for him. And I don't know, man. Plus 160, I already took it. Like, it's like, for sure I'm taking that. What was your official on here?
Yeah, I think Volkov ML plus 160. Again, as
Yeah.
I said, you just have to take that. I think Almeida is a 205er fighting a heavyweight. I think the size advantage is going to be super apparent here.
Yep.
And I think Volkov's probably going to get a finish if I had to guess. But I think, yeah, as I said, I think Almeida's not that durable. I think if he can't get a round 1 finish and Volkov hits him a bit too hard, he might be like, ooh, I might have to find a way out here.
Yeah, I was looking at the finish here at plus 240, but it's not far enough away from the money line that I would risk it. Like, if it was plus 3 something, I might take the finish, but no, the money line at plus 160 is tremendous value as far as I'm concerned.
We'll see.
Great,
we'll
yippee. See. But hey, listen, we've been wrong before, and we could be wrong again, but the argument is laid out very clearly here. This is one of those ones where I just believe in Volkov, and if Almeida can prove us wrong, great. Like, great. Congrats on your advance up the heavyweight division, but I don't see it happening. I just do not. Okay,
I do think he could be champ at 205. That's how strong I believe in Almeida, but he is just.
What is he going to walk? What is he going to walk into the ring at on Saturday? Do you think?
Volkov will probably have about 30, 40 pounds on him.
So
he's about 230, I think.
220s, 230s? Yeah, he could cut down to that. Yeah, for sure. But could he
when he was like he said he used to walk around like 215 before he went to Dana White's when he was at Dana White's Contender Series.
Yeah.
He put on so much mass to go to heavyweight.
Well,
is what it is.
Some people just really want to fight Derek Lewis. Okay, let's get to the last fight of the main card here.
As well.
Yeah, exactly. Alexander Rakic versus Azamat Murzakanov. This is interesting with Murzakanov coming in undefeated, but this is now a pick'em basically, right? So, what are your thoughts here?
Rakic has kind of had the most unfortunate run in the UFC when you look at it. I mean, he was kind of just beat beat Yuri up so bad, where if it's any fighter in the entire roster, and I mean this genuinely, he
Yeah.
finishes them. But
100%.
Yuri kind of is just like a wizard, and he just kind of didn't
Yuri.
get finished.
Yeah.
And Rakic kind of just punched himself out there, because I don't think you'll ever see a fight where someone does that as much as Rakic, and the guy's still standing there. So Rakic against Yuri, I'm pretty happy looking at that performance as if you want a Rakic. And then you also look at the Jan fight. I think he was doing pretty well before he broke it. Yeah, he got injured. Yeah. And then the Ankalaev fight, he won round 1 clean on all scorecards.
And Ankalaev was just the champion.
Yeah.
Like,
don't get me, like, and this is a massive step up in competition for Murzakanov. He looks like he was about to have a stroke against Alonzo Menafield. Like, I'm not even joking. Look at the.
I know.
I don't mean this like offensively, but the physique here is like insane. Murzakanov should be like a welterweight or like a middleweight at most. He's 5 foot. I think he's 5'9" or 5'10". Rakic is 6'4".
The size difference here is crazy. He didn't look great, like as you said, against Menafield, and that was arguably his best win. This step up in competition here is so high, and I've never been more confident in a fighter coming into a fight off of 3 straight losses as Rakic, because look who he's lost to. Yuri, who somehow has managed to not win a belt, but probably should have at some point, except for Poatan. Jan, who's had the belt, and... Ankh, who was just, I said Jan was the champ and Anka's the champ. Like, that's a crazy.
Yuri's been champ as well.
Oh, that's right. Yes, of course.
Yeah, he finished Glover. So he's only lost
forgot.
Champions.
He's only lost the champions. That's right. Sorry, I completely forgot about that.
And
I'm just so. Yeah, and I know. I get confused by Yuri's career.
I was going to beat Jan, I think. So
I know.
This is crazy.
So, like, this is like a crazy step up for this guy to be at only minus 107. And I'll be honest with you. I think Rakic could finish him. Like,
I think so too. The cardio advantage is actually insane in this fight. Yeah. This is like, I know it is a lot, but if you watch any of Murzakanov's fights, he has about 7 minutes of cardio, and then he looks like he needs an oxygen mask. Like, it is bad. Like, but he is a finisher. He's an elite striker. He's an elite striker.
Heavy hands.
And he can put anyone out. I think if you're betting him, I think you just take him and under 1.5. And I think whatever price that is way better than taking him on the money line. Because I think he needs you'll win round 1, and then he needs to hurt him and Rakic in round 2 to end up winning the round, because at the end of the round, Rakic is going to be putting on him. And in round 3, I think he'll be lucky to survive if he gets there, and Rakic is just going to be brutalizing him. But I do think Rakic is way too big. He's got about 7 inches of reach, about 6 inches of height. Like, he is huge compared to him. He's got a new team. He said he's more motivated than ever. He's been sharpening up his Muay Thai in Thailand. I think, yeah, he was minus 1,000 live against Yuri. He was a live favorite against Jan Blachowicz before getting injured. Like, this guy's got all the tools to be a champion, and he's the second biggest light heavyweight fighting someone who should be a welterweight. Like, what are we doing? Like, Murzakanov does have the power and skills to sleep him in round 1.
Of course.
But I think he could win round 1 clean, Murzakanov, and you could look at the line and he's minus 120, and you're like, how? And then you realize that he's lying on the floor with an oxygen mask, and he's barely able to keep going. But I think betting Rakic minus 107, or if you want to wait live and take him after round 1, I don't think either can be live. But I think you could kind of school him here, so I'm happy to take Rakic.
Yeah, so you took him directly on the money line. I think with it basically being at even money, I think it's the smart play, because you have so many different ways he could win open to you there.
He's a way better martial artist.
Yeah, he's a way better physical specimen here. Like, these two do not go to the same trainer. But it's like, that matters, because we're talking endlessly about Asmat's. Like, his cardio is not. It's unless something's drastically changed in his career, he's not prepared for this fight. Of course he's got the one punch. He's got the striking. I get it. I get all of it. This is a massive step up, and I don't think he's prepared for it. I think if they wanted this guy to start, they would have slow rolled him a little bit longer. And I don't think that's an unfair thing to say. Paul,
he's 36 though, so you can't really do that anyways.
Yeah, I mean, at 205 though, you soar. Yeah.
He almost lost to Dustin Jacoby, and now he's fighting Rakic, and he's minus 170.
That's yeah. Okay, well, enough about that. I agree with you completely. Paul, do you want to quickly summarize your picks for this card before we get going?
We have Aspinall in under 1.5 rounds, and we have Aspinall to win by sub is the two in the main event. And then we have Volkov money line plus 160, and we have Rakic money line minus 107. So yeah, we've bet on a 6'4" guy, 6'5" guy, and a 6'9" guy. So yeah, anything under that, we don't want to be involved this week.
Just not involved. It's just a complete height bias right across the board this week, and I'm here for it as a guy that's as tall as all of them. I completely appreciate that you've done that. On behalf of Paul Hughes, my name is Kyle Andrew. Thanks once again for joining us for Betting Weekly Fight Life here on the Bet Rivers Network. See you guys next week.
Thanks for watching Betting Weekly Fight Life on the Bet Rivers Network.